Hello, my lovey. Welcome back to another episode of CFG Living Podcast. I know. It's truly a miracle. We are blessed to be here with Carrie Severson, who is a fantastic person, published author who noticed that there was a gap in the market between la-di-da, I have a kabillion people who want to do my fingernails, as opposed to I have an excellent message, let's get the mofo out. And she figured out just how exactly to do that. And welcome, Carrie. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Beautiful intro. I love it.
So tell me more about the book that you've already published, because you've got some companion action coming for it.
Yes. Yeah. So the first book is called Unapologetically Enough, and that was written over the course of a decade. I took
Love
a
it.
long time to get that jazz together. And the reason it took so long is because I did pitch literary agents. I pitched close to 100
Mm-hmm.
and spent a long time dealing with rejection letters and comparison and figuring out how I was supposed to be something and somebody different to fit the mold of what they wanted. All of these agents compared my book to Eat, Pray, Love, Daring Greatly, Carry On, all these great New York Times bestselling books, and then always said, because I don't have 100,000 followers, I'm passing. It's not saleable. So I spent a long time rewriting, getting in touch with myself, figuring out who I was supposed to be, and then finally landed on what the book is today, which is by far the best thing I've ever written. And I love it so dearly. Unapologetically Enough, Reshaping Success and Self-Love is my book on the market right now. And it's had this beautiful, wild response. It is about my burnout recovery. I am a recovering burnout. And I'm highly intuitive and I follow my intuition. And I got this nudge to put it out into the world, not knowing burnout, parasympathetic nervous system, it was going to be as big as it is. And the conversation
Mm-hmm.
is huge. It's mainstream, it's in corporations, it's in associations, it's in every industry, not just coaching, not just entrepreneur, it's in healthcare, it's in
Right.
information technology, it's in the legal system, it's everywhere.
Yeah, I was going to say in other countries, they've got the medical system set up to help you care for yourself when
Yeah.
you get to that point, which naturally, well, that's probably not going to happen here in the good old US of A, because you just need to work harder.
Yeah.
No, kidding. Please do not misquote me. I do not believe we need to work hard to do
No.
anything. Now,
When I go, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask, when you do your box breathing, are you doing nothing else? Can you do it while you're, drying off and getting dressed? Or what level of concentration do you need?
This morning I did it as I was making coffee, but I was standing there
Mhm.
staring at my coffee maker. But I find it most beneficial if I'm just sitting there.
Okay.
Although, just communicating with the medical community here the other day, a lot of them aren't in the space of being able to step back and take 2 minutes to just sit in the hallway and do that because they're so accessible, right? And so
Right.
I'm like, well, as you're waiting for something to print, or as you're waiting for your next check-in or whatever, even if it's just like 3 rounds. I know there's when I was in the back of the Enoughness Method, I give like 10 additional tips that I've used, and one of them is 4-7-8. It's a breathing technique. I love it. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. When you're exhaling, you're blowing through the straw and you're making that whoosh to try to engage your vagus nerve. And I love that one. I get lightheaded after I do it for like 5 rounds. And so I practice that with, a bunch of doctors. And I'm like, don't do this one at the red light. Do this one after you go home. You're maybe lying in bed. This is one that I do not want you to do anywhere else, but focus on this one. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah. And I think 4-7-8 is really nice. For me, it helps me just let the day go completely.
Yeah.
Because you're totally focused on your physical, like, do I have anything else to exhale? I have another second left. Oh, okay. Thank goodness I can breathe in.
I find that breathing technique takes me out of my mind altogether because I'm so focused on, with box breath, I'll sometimes be like, wait, what number am I on? Because it's so rhythmic. Am I
Right.
inhaling? Am I exhaling? Did I just hold? It doesn't feel like, but with 478, I'm so focused on the number that
Mhm.
I think that's why I get lightheaded, is because I'm so focused on it. But yeah, there's so many, but the enoughness method, I definitely, it's like, there's a breathing technique. I wanted that, that's been something I've been practicing since 2013, when I first realized I couldn't get my breath past my boobs. Like, it would get stuck above my
Upper,
rib.
yeah, upper lung. That doesn't really fill you with that juicy oxygen. Yeah.
So the a breathing technique was something that I had to do, and then I figured out all these other things, like yawning would bring on a release and help me feel safe. And um yeah, so the enoughness method is specifically for burnout, people looking to recover from burnout, and not looking for, you've got to spend hours on your self-care, and you have to, I mean, some of that stuff definitely, if you can carve out time on the weekends, managing your time, figuring out how to do that and piecemeal things, it's incredibly important. Time management is
Mhm.
really important. And there's some tools in there that I've used over the years. But yeah, I'm really excited for it.
It sounds very exciting. And I would like to interject that it doesn't have to be hard. And it sounds like you are showing people with the workbook how it can be easy. And
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be something where you're like, I must self-flagellate and relive every trauma I've ever endured and every negative memory. And it's like, no, go to talk therapy for that. Bon appetit, enjoy. Highly recommend talk therapy. However, we get to take charge of our mindset and our body and how it works together and create those feedback loops to help us be more productive, see more joy, and enjoy living more.
Yeah. The really big thing that I find for burnout, specifically when I go around and I talk to these communities and I'm in corporations talking to employees, is they're so scared to stop because they think their world's going to implode, or they're going to lose their job, or so they're going to lose their support system. It's easier for them. It's almost like they're at this point, just sort of, they're literally surviving. They're at
Mhm.
a point where they're either addicted to the burnout, which is a weird thing to say, but like the rat race
Oh,
is
you can make endorphins for that. Yeah.
the rat race is the most familiar, so we're going to stay here.
Mhm.
Or they're so freaked out about the idea of having to do something else and learn something else, that they don't even try. And so, when I speak at these events, I have so many people come up to me afterwards and be like, "Oh, do you do one-on-one coaching? Can I come to you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, totally. I do consulting. We can talk about it." And then I'll never hear from them again, because the concept of taking that next step is too much. So again, it's like, all right, well, you're at your workplace. Who's going to notice that you like rub your shoulders down to your elbows and back up, and you're taking deep breaths? So you're just giving yourself a hug, but this is actually a soothing technique. Who's going to
Mhm.
notice that you're like tapping the side of your hand, or you're just like bumping your face a couple of places, right? And so
Mhm.
it making it fit into your current day while you're regulating your nervous system is what I really wanted to. It's what I've been doing for the last year and a half since Unapologetically Enough has been out. So I was like, you know what? I should put this out next.
I love it. And I love that you take time. I am such a throw the spaghetti at the wall person that, like the idea of like, let me craft this and make it better. I was just like, yeah, I could improve in that arena. That's all I'm saying. So thank you for inspiring me towards that. But at the same time, depending on your personality, dear listener, it could very well be that you may as well throw some freaking spaghetti, because you're going to take 17 years to, perfect your cover of your book that's not even written yet. And I highly recommend the spaghetti toss over that.
Yeah, take a baby step. That's all it is one baby
Hmm.
step.
Yeah,
I have a
100%.
tendency I have a tendency of going down rabbit holes. So it's like,
What?
I've I found this thing that no one else is talking about, but it's here. And so I'm gonna go do that. And that's how like every really big thing in my life has sort of come, where it's like I get this intuitive nudge to move forward. And then so you know, I am a trailblazer. I'm a born entrepreneur, learning how to manage that
Hmm.
in a healthy, manageable, balanced, free, juicy way has always been my thing. Um, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Enoughness Method next year.
I am too. I am very excited for it. And I will be watching and checking it out. Thank you, Carrie, for being with us. Your link
You
is in the show notes. Is there anything you'd like to leave our listener with before we sign off?
No, baby steps. Take one baby step. That's it.
Baby steps for the win. You heard it from
Yep.
Carrie Severson right here.